You're here because you want to know how much I spent or how much you will spend if you go to South Africa, Cape Town specifically. So let's get straight into it. I want to share with you the journey that I use to calculate these calculations. I knew I wanted to do this exercise. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And then I was watching a video on payday routine by what's her name? What's her face again? Nisha. Anyway, I'll link it down below. She's a British accountant. I was watching a video on how to save 10k in a short space of time, and I was also watching a payday routine, and she happened to mention Emma, the app that you can use to budget and track your spending as well as invest. And I use Snoop right now, the free version of Snoop, of course, and I just felt like Snoop is very it's very noisy. There's a lot going on Snoop. I find it's still good. Everyone loves it. My sister recommended it to me. But Emma, I just felt like, okay, let me use Emma. So I literally did it within like 2 hours. I logged in, signed up, and categorized all of my spending from my time in South Africa, in Nigeria, and in Ghana. Okay, so the format of this video will hopefully be, if I stick to the plan on here, me telling you the most expensive thing, the least expensive thing, the frequent payments, and the most common payment methods for each country. So I'm doing this video for each country that I visited last year, and that was South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana. Let's open the app. Let's start there. Okay, so I'm going to go straight in down. So the app is all these apps are quite noisy. They're not very straightforward, but anyway, you go in, I'll put a screen record so that it's easy for you to follow through. On the feed, go down to this analytics and budgeting, and I'm going to tap into this month. I will go straight into, right now this is showing February. I want to go to yearly, and I want to tap into 2023 and then save. So all the data that I will see is 2023 data. The reason why I don't want to just select the months I was in the country is because my spending started way before that, like booking flights, for example, booking hotels. I started booking like in Q2 of 2023. So I want to be able to capture that as well. So I'm going to go into categories because I have created a category called NG, called GH and SA. So we're tapping into SA. So in total I spent £1,641 during my time in Cape Town. This does include my flights, my hotel, and then everything else that I did. I think it's important to mention that I don't drink alcohol, so that's a big like factor, I would say, when you're looking at like how much I spent on food and stuff like that. Basically what you will see here is I spent a lot of money on Ubers, but then you will see the cheapest Uber trips total here. Uber was the most frequent transaction during my stay because everywhere I was going, I was using Uber. I was meeting people, I was like arranging meetups, and I would get an Uber there and back. Uber is very easy to, it's the same and it's cheaper. It's the same comparing to the UK in the sense that you can pick, like, you have 3 categories you can pick from. I made a video about my experience with Uber drivers in Africa, because when you compare the West Africa and South Africa and the UK, because that's where I'm based, there's a big difference with Uber, and it's just hilarious how the cultures come through even in an app such as Uber. But anyway, whilst in all my travels, South Africa, Cape Town, Uber was the cheapest. Just literally you see transactions here for Uber, but it's 77 pence. Like, I don't know exactly like how, I can't remember. I can always go into the app and check, but have you ever paid an Uber ride for 77 pence? Like, it's crazy. It's so cheap. Funny story. So my intentions were to use Travelex, the card. I sorted that out to the airport on the day. I was very last minute with this trip because I was so stressed out. I was going through a house renovation, so I wasn't prepared as such. I didn't buy foreign currency in advance. I just literally went and arrived. But at the airport, I got a Travelex card, and I topped up my currency. I sent some money over, got the card, topped up my currency, and the intentions were to use the card as I would to avoid bank charges. But I went clubbing literally the first weekend. I arrived on a Saturday. That Saturday night I was in a club and I lost the Travelex card. I lost it in the club. I'm very sure I lost it in the club because I had this purse that like it closes and then it hangs on your hand. So, but I think I was forgetting to close it, and so some things were just falling out. In any case, long story short, the card was lost. So now I was forced to use my TSB card, my bank card. So that's what the little charges you'll see that are like tagged 2.99 and they're like 28p, £1.45. They're bank charges, unfortunately, because I was using my card to do those transactions. I'm gonna put in total like what I got charged in those transactions. It's not smart. It's not the best way to go about things. So don't do that. Also, I found out in later research, which I did research about, which I did a video about, your bank sometimes, if you tell them you're traveling, they will actually offer you like they won't charge you basically for foreign transactions. They won't give you the best rate, but they won't charge you for foreign transactions. Had I called TSB, they would have said okay, but I didn't do that. So learn from me. Don't do as I do. Flights. My flights from London to Cape Town. My flight was 454. I flew with Lufthansa. I was in transit. I went via Frankfurt. I'd never been to Frankfurt and I wanted to check it out. So I was like, yeah, why not? I didn't like Frankfurt. The Smarty, you will see, my intentions were to use that Smarty, which is powered by 3G network here, to put in my dongle for data. And then I found out after paying that 3G will only work in the UK. So I could not use it in South Africa. So that was money down the drain. And I cannot tell you right now where that SIM card is, but it's carrying 40 gig of data that I did not use. So I had to put it here because it's a cost associated with the trip, but it's a waste. But so basically, don't do as I do, be smart. The booking.com was a last minute booking, as you can see, on the 5th of October, and I needed accommodation for the 7th of October, which was when I was arriving. And then I went to Aquila. The price for Aquila is not here because it was actually a gifted value, but in total Aquila I paid something like £700, not out, not out of my own pocket as such, so I didn't include it in here. If you want to know more about what it costs to visit Aquila, to get there I didn't pay for transport. I went with like a colleague or a friend, so that didn't cost much either. And Aquila is all inclusive, so again, what we paid covered for food and everything, literally everything we did there. I paid so much for excess luggage, and I paid for each flight I took because each time I had excess luggage. Don't do as I do. Vodacom, I was buying data, local data, so make sure you've got that sorted out, especially if you're planning to work remote. I made a video about this. Get a dongle. When you arrive, get a local SIM and buy the biggest data bundle. These are bank charges. Drama, the best nightclub or lounge. They call themselves a lounge. All clubs there call themselves lounges. I don't know why. The best. I recommend. Go and enjoy your life. Don't lose your bank card once you're there. At Villa Fig, I stayed here for 14 nights, and that was the price for my room. And I think that's amazing. I think that's really good. I topped up the Travelex card because I still had the long card number. So I would freeze it and unfreeze it when I want to buy food. So I was using it to buy food on Deliveroo, on Uber Eats. Uber Eats works over there. So I would freeze it and unfreeze it because I was trying to avoid the bank charges. So I would top up the Travelex, freeze it when I'm not using it, unfreeze it when I'm about to make a food order on Uber Eats. I don't know who Sony and Irene are, but Sony and Irene took £11.34, or should I say I gave them? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know who Sony and Irene are, to be very honest. My biggest Uber transaction is £28, I'm sure. Yes, it is £28, and that was my trip to the airport to leave South Africa, Cape Town, and I was now flying to my next destination. And that was the most expensive because I treated myself to an Uber Lux, and basically it was like a Mercedes Benz, which was like, when it turned up, I was disappointed. I think, you know, when you have expectations and you're like, it's going to be nice, but the guy's customer service was really good, but his car was banged up. I almost couldn't get on my flight because they said I must have a yellow fever vaccine to go to Nigeria. I said, okay. Literally, these guys were trying to tell me I cannot board the flight if I don't have a yellow fever vaccine. This was now in Joburg, by the way. I don't know if I can officially describe what happened for me to be able to go through. Now that brings my total to £1,608 that I spent to make the trip happen. In comparison, I think that's not bid. Whenever we want to laugh, my family has this thing, like my mom's favorite way of describing things is, it's not bad. She's not bad. So I think it's not bad. That makes me laugh. Anyway, thank you for watching. I don't know if I hope this is helpful. I think it's insightful, right? What you like, spending behavior tells you a lot about a country, a lot about the person. But yeah, I hope this has been helpful and fun and insightful for you. If you're planning to go, I think the summary, what I can say is South Africa is a cheaper destination to operate in once you're there, to live, to eat, to have fun in. It's cheaper than the two countries that I'm going to do a video about next. So this is just about South Africa. I'm going to do part 2 on my spending analysis, but it's going to be focused on my spending in Nigeria. Thank you so much for staying to the end, and we praise the Lord you didn't have any more technical difficulties. Yeah, see ya.